Morena from Aotearoa, where our tide has just come full. We're on a new moon and we're in the middle of a wonderful cyclone come summer storm that is creating havoc on the East Coast with enormous water. And we're not the only ones. It seems that the Southern Hemisphere has been awash with water and fire since last we met, to support the big transformation that's been taking place this sacred season. So, welcome to Guardians of Gaia, the place where guardians meet in cyberspace on new and full moons to share intel, guidance, and what's moving through our personal and planetary bodies at this time. And you're all looking a bit tired at the end of the holidays and summer season because it has been full on. So let us begin by going through the holographic alignment process and coming into harmonic so that everything that wishes to be shared may easily flow through the unified field. You're welcome to stand up, sound, breathe, and move if you are just arriving into this space and place for the first time. Aligning physical, mental, and emotional bodies with all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic or galactic self. Activating the Earth Star 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body and the elemental forces of nature. The Rios de Luz, light, agua, water, fuego, fire, oro, crystal, mineral kingdom. And inviting those primordial elements up through our pillar to cleanse, clear, and purify, rejuvenate, regenerate, recalibrate, and reorientate to the shifts that are happening so that we may stay in sync with the source of creation. All the way up to our soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head. And connecting with our celestial nature as we anchor in our unique star maps through our terrestrial bodies. Surrendering through the core of Source and the heart of Gaia where the new true Earth architecture emerges. The core of Source in our own heart spaces and places. And the core of Source through the galactic center, wherever that resides in your system, be it through the pineal gland, the gateway to God, all seeing and all knowing, or through the umbilicals once it's anchored through the physicality. Remembering the power of our unique sound, song, soul signature, and inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillars. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen and fortify our own unique pillar, the place on the planet where we stand while honoring the guardians in the seen and the unseen realms. Honoring our ancestors and the ancestors of this land. As we also honor the incoming children that are arriving in their galactic and universal architecture at this time. They feel very present for our journey today, which is a continuation of the last 2-3 meetings and feels will also continue into the next one. And inhaling, exhaling with sound as we connect around and through the planetary body. Thank you, everybody who's been called to gather in person to today's gathering and maintaining this connection as I hand you over to Casey.
Thank you, everyone, for joining Circle with us. We're going to step into the field of amplification through our unified systems at this time, opening up our heart fields, opening up our galactic gateways, and connecting out to the source fields, connecting out to the data streams of light and sound, allowing the creation codes to come waving on in, and feeling the support of our galactic teams at this time. All of the motherships arriving, all of the scout ships showing up in our fields of awareness for support, as Gaia herself is beginning to shift in a way that is different than we understand. There's many changes happening on the grid systems. There's an amplification and electrification that is being felt through the grid itself, through the consciousness grids. Some of these are important to bring up the distortion factors and the dissolution thereof. And we are seeing an amplification in some of these realms. This is important and necessary. It is part of the structure that needs to break apart. And we are seeing this all over the earth as the consciousness becomes clouded. That's why we are each here to step in and bring our amplification of light. Gaia herself is becoming restructured. There is a resetting of her entire nervous system. There is a zero pointing and starting again. Her rivers of light are reconstructing, refiguring, finding new pathways. Even the bones of Gaia herself are being asked to be reset at this time. Her structure fields are coming apart to be coming together in a new way. Her spine, all of her fracture points are coming into awareness now that they can be healed and mended. Because there has been a long history where she has been out of alignment and out of balance. So some of these earth changes we are experiencing are her resetting herself through the assistance of the galactic field. This is just to bring awareness into the field of those who are here and conscious of this, and to remain steady and present as she shifts and changes, and to also be able to hold the field while those around you may not be able to steady their own. Those that are not solid in their frames are being amplified at this time. The destruction consciousness is present. Do not allow this to sway you from your goal, from your duty to stay ever stable in your field. We are requiring your stability at this time and asking you to step into your heart space and always choose love. If there's another choice, please choose whatever feels lightest and brightest to you. This is important at this time because of the restructure. We wish to step into the field of the greater expanse of the whole of the circle at this time, allowing information to come in through the heart fields of all, to be felt, to be seen, and to allow those codes to drop fully through each system that is standing here in circle. When you are ready, please open your eyes and allow this journey to begin.
Thank you, Casey. And there's certainly a personal and planetary restructuring going on. Not long after our last gathering, I was on the table with Leon, and I just knew he had to do extra craniosacral work with my system. So I asked him to kind of include that in our journey together. And right at the end, when he was working at my head, I felt a ping on one side of my pineal and then a ping on the other. And what it is, when I asked him to explain how he saw that, he said that there's actually a pyramid shaped fascia over and above our pineal gland. And it was almost like mine was, although my pineal was active, that pyramid shaped fascia needed a correction and recalibration to pop out into its full architecture. So that was quite an interesting journey to experience from the inside out, with everything else that's been unfolding. Interesting, the other bit wanted to be shared too, and often we'll travel quite a bit during those sessions. And there was a really interesting stage of it too, that he witnessed me having a meeting with military personnel and explaining to them that they can't do what they're doing with our planetary body at this time because of the evolutionary journey that Gaia is going through. And the ones that we were speaking with were actually listening to what we had to share. They were paying attention to the implications of their actions if they were to go ahead with the way they were operating. So that was a really interesting piece that's been unfolding since we last met. And we'd love to hear from anyone here who would like to share and has any contributions to the grand unfolding that has been taking place for some weeks now. Since we passed through the December solstice passage. And as I say that, I hear thunder rumbling in the distance.
It's interesting, Leanne, because it's interesting to note that our fascial system is our physical system of light in our bodies. And it covers all of our muscles. And it also stores the trauma that we have experienced on the cellular level. And there's a beautiful unwinding that needs to happen in each of our bodies in order for the trauma to be released in a safe way and for our light systems to be able to hold more light through that physical essence. And it's the same thing that we're seeing on Gaia at this time. She's going through a huge unwinding in some of her fascial layers of the earth to release some of her old storylines so she can hold more light as well.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever paid much attention to the fascia, but now it's of paramount importance because it's literally our liquid light information transformation and transportation system that interfaces through our body with the planetary body, our environment, and the cosmos. So it's really important that we have daily practices that support that fascia. And if there's ever congestion in places, to go in, because that's also like you're explaining, Casey, where the emotions that are suppressed are often stored in the fascia. And then when they become crystallized, they can become diseased as well. So it's really important. That's why we have our connection and alignment through all of the bodies with no hierarchy. The soul's the leader of the earth walk, but the physical, mental, and emotional bodies all of our equal importance. And to work with the fascia, I have a wonderful big roller that I am seen rolling around my lounge room floor at least 3 times a day on to make sure that liquid crystal system is kept open and free and fluid and connected. And it's really useful for that.
It feels also important to note. So as I'm looking at my travels to come visit New Zealand, I'm stopping through Oahu, which for me is one of those places that is frozen in time since the experience of the war that took place there. Well, it took place on the entirety of the earth, but for me, it has that personal connection. And so before I get to go visit New Zealand, I get to do some unwinding of that history, of that storyline in that specific place, so that Oahu itself can move forward and vibrationally shift and match the other islands that it's connected to.
It's really interesting you should mention that, because last night I got called to watch the Arc of Time series on Gaia, and there was a particular part in, I don't know, the second or third, that referred to humanity's disconnect to actually release an atomic bomb on our planet, and how there was actually extraterrestrial influence to stop that, and bring a stop to it. Because it's like, hey, this is an experiment, the University of Duality, where we come for the next step and stage for our embodiment and evolution, and that sort of behavior is just not acceptable for this university, for this learning ground, this training ground, and exploration. So yeah, it seems to have made a big frozen in time.
My soul also has a big connection with being one of those off-planet ETs and stepping in during war times. I have very visceral experiences of being on the ships and telling the humans to stand down, and also allowing them to see me in my higher aspect to create this field of peace so that there can be a consciousness change on the field.
It's interesting as you say that, I come back to that vision when I was on the table the other day, and we're having that conversation with military personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. It is an extraordinary journey we are on.
I can
Gemma.
jump into something. Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here. My name's Jenna. And just when you were speaking of fascia, I just wanted to invite this practice that I've been doing. So I know this is your first time meeting me, but I'm about to just like go full on to the splits. But so the way I work with fascia, the way I was taught was you'll bend some part of your body or stretch part of your body just until you feel a little bit of resistance. And it's good to hold it there for 5 minutes or more, and that really helps with the release. So what I've been doing is taking a belt. I don't have like a yoga strap with me right now, but anyways, I take a belt and I'll just stretch my leg out. So lying on my back, and I stretch my leg out and I hold it for 5 minutes on each side. And I've been doing that for a couple months, and I really feel a lot of healing and release and capacity opening up within me for these higher energies to move through. So I just wanted to put that in the field if anybody feels called to do that. I've been really noticing a lot of strength from doing that practice. So that's my fascia tip. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. And yes, yin yoga is absolutely wonderful for fascia too. Long, slow hold movements to allow that opening. We need bamboo bodies, ones that are strong but also soft, ones that are fit and also flexible. And also to support the fascia has a lot to do with the quality and quantity of high vibe water that we're consuming. Because when we're dehydrated, of course, we shrink. And a lot of elderly people, how they kind of grow less, shorter and more prune-like with age, a lot of it is because of dehydration, and obviously not clearing out the obstacles in their fascia. But dehydration, everything shrinks. It's like shrink wrap. So keep it hydrated, keep it open and free to flow. And it is, when we have spaciousness, it's a lot easier to be in these big energies at this time of change. You know, if we can't manage it and if we're having trouble breathing, we probably need to make more space, both physically and energetically. So yeah, thank you. Anyone else? John.
Hi everyone. Excuse me, I'm a wee bit croaky. I just wanted to say if I could introduce a friend of mine that's here today, Heather Stembridge, who I'd invited on with our group. I met Heather about over 10 years ago on our workshop that we were running, and in one of the breaks, I was sitting with Heather and I asked her what she did. And she said that she traveled the world working with tectonic plates and working with the energy of the planet, which was back then something I'd never heard of. Now, when we got involved with what we're doing here, Heather came to mind again. So I contacted her some weeks ago, and I invited her to come on because I felt that what we were doing here was very much in alignment with what she was doing. And I'm just wondering if she would mind if I invited her to just say a few words about what she does do. And that will give me a little bit more clarity about what she does too. So, Heather, if you would like to say a few words, I think we would love to hear them as well.
Hang on, Heather. We haven't got you yet.
You'll have to unmute your mic. You'll have to unmute your mic, Heather. That's down on the bottom left.
Hang on, Heather. Let me see if I can help you with this. No, I can only ask you. You'll have to unmute yourself. If it's not working, Heather, you may want to log out and log back in again, and then we might be able to have you straight come back on if you can't find your unmute button. Well, Heather's coming back on. Is there anybody else who would like to contribute or have any questions for the field? Robin.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. This is my first meeting. I've been doing lots of work over the years, but I've been sitting here and I've been working with Obsidian, and it wanted to come in today and especially connected to Iran as well. And so, is everyone okay? I use a lot of toning and sound. Is that okay to use? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. And I have a piece here just in case. I mean, I think everybody's familiar with obsidian. There's actually an obsidian mountain in Mount Shasta, near Mount Shasta, that called Glass Mountain that I go to. And so this, sorry, I can't really talk anymore. So if we can just tune into that level or layer of obsidian, that is pretty much the cooled lava that forms. And especially tuning into the obsidian near Iran, in Iran, Nahatu ku ansikia, Nahat ui hansipi nakawut iaya, Nahai ikau mahawate, Dushnehai sine yata, Mehetai sikietano, Bakui tindi ishkiana, Sukushkia lahawanetia, Muhayet ia muaye, Maku, 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 kia ut ea ya hamba, wahait ai sat uma, miat ai nau. Okay, I feel that I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you for your contribution, Robin.
Thank you.
The Obsidian was talking about a code convergence over there in the area of Iran. Obsidian itself is a beautiful quality of bringing people's kind of density up to the surface. It's often in places where they're transitional places where people have a hard time anchoring in because the energy of the obsidian brings everybody's stuff up. And so the amplification of the consciousness over there is helping bubble up to the surface to be released. Anna Katrina has some information on a dragon that's in Iran also.
Actually, I felt it very strongly when Robin was just like the quotes she was dropping in. It was very, very strong, like activation, and it is connected to an ancient portal, what you dropped in. And I felt a dragon actually at the same moment, very, very strongly, like in my heart chakra, like, yes. So Iran is for all of us, I think, or not, I don't know, for all of us, for many of us, it is on, it's very important at the moment. And I had been the last days there. And I don't know, when Robin talked, I got this Egyptian wave coming in, and there used to be a king of light. He was called the king of light, something like that was dropping in. And in one of the journeys and invitations I got into a mountain, I was connected to a dragon there, and that dragon, they showed me that I usually perceive them with the eye first, like a huge eye that was like glued, and like when children have this inflammation, sometimes small children, they wake up in the morning, they cannot open their eye. It was like glued and inflamed and had sand in it, and that started not see. Yeah, she was like put asleep and could not see. It was to work with that one dragon in that mountain and the ancient ones. And there I was shown that they call them the warriors of the sun. They were coming in, and they were like thousands of them. It was like an army of the sun, and they were mingling and really spreading and going out to all the people on the roads, on the streets, in all different places. And it was a huge movement. And they said, like, Iran, it has the absolute potential to change the direction of the world at the moment. So, and I actually felt very much touched by what is happening, asking, like, how can I be of service? And so I was invited to different places, and partly they are, of course, the dragons. They are doing a huge work in that, but they were put to sleep. There was a lot of stagnation, and yeah. And the last part was like guided to the border, over the border, under the sand, and now it's already pointing to Iraq. Yeah, let's see what that does with everyone here. Maybe comes something up.
I just want to chime in. As soon as you said the word sand, there's something huge slithering underneath the sand that's been
Yeah,
awakened, and it's moving.
yeah.
Feels like one of the main planetary ley lines that were blocked has been released. Thanking Waveney for the message she shared from Samuel Lee, who just did a big gathering with, I think it was over 3,000 participants to work with the big Stargate there in Iran. And what's happening there now is incredible. The way that the people are coming together and demanding change. I myself was not able to enter Iran when I was running trips out there in 1989 and 1991. Both times I'd have to overfly. I wasn't able to go through the land yet, but perhaps that might change now.
Can I jump in on the back of what Anna Katerina was saying about Egypt and the sun god? Because there was a sun god. Well, Akhenaten changed the whole structure of Egypt to rather than what the priests and praying to all of the gods, he was focused on the solar disk. That the Aten was a solar disk, and he like literally transformed Egypt in the revering of the sun, of the solar god, and it feels really relevant in terms of how much solar activity we have happening at this time, how the solar energies and frequencies are playing such a big part in this evolution on the planet. So that's what jumped in when Katharina mentioned the king of light. To me, was the king of the sun. And I don't know if you know, he was the father of Tutankhamun, who was actually born Tutankhamun. It was Aten, and then the priest took him, converted him, and changed the Amun at the end from Aten. So there was a whole, he was Akhenaten, was the kind of revolutionary god of light of Egypt. So that kind of jumped in and wanted to be shared.
Thank you, Tiffany. That's also a reminder that when Guardians of Gaia began 2.5 years ago as a place for us to gather, it was also at a similar time that Isha reached out to me. And Isha, who has Unified Consciousness as her organization that she's here, she's of the same monad as Akhenaten, and her memories of metaphysicality and its connection through the planetary body and our planetary history is really quite extraordinary. And she's doing some amazing work there from Mexico. Any other questions or contributions? Or Heather, have we managed to get you back online with your audio operating? Anna Katrina, did you
I'm
have
still on.
something connected to
I
that
know,
story?
yeah, it was very strong. Yes, it was. There is another dragon calling, they say. He has already heard the call. There is something already when Robin said it's moving. But there is another dragon calling in this whole field. There are many dragons. It's not one, but maybe we can sense into it. Casey?
There's actually two more pieces to this puzzle with Iran and the dragons.
Yeah, so there is a piece, that's why Heather's in circle today. There's a piece about the resetting of the bones of Gaia with her tectonic plates. There's something about a shift that specifically wants to happen there. But there also, when you first mentioned the dragon in Iran, there was assistance that is being required. And when you brought it into the field again, I got this like sharp pain shooting through my cranium. There's something about, there's some sort of like blocking or resistance for allowing that dragon to have full access again.
Yes. Yes.
It feels like Heather's piece is the next piece and then opening the pathway for that dragon. How are you going there, Heather? Have we got your audio button to unmute you? Not yet. That's interesting. Are you on a phone or a computer? You're on a phone and you're on a Samsung. Who has a Samsung that could guide Heather into unmuting herself? Or maybe this transmission from Heather is going to be telepathic.
I have a suggestion. Heather, have you got the screen on gallery view or speaker view? Okay, let me ask you a yes or no question. Have you got the picture, have you got it on gallery view? Where you can see everybody? Okay, because on speaker view, usually on the telephone, if you're just seeing the person who's speaking, if there's a way to flick to see your buttons, I'm not very technically articulate, but if you swipe to bring up the buttons, then you should see a little red microphone that you can press. But that's usually easier in the speaker view than the gallery view on the phone. Or if you tap on the screen, sometimes the band comes up and it will show you the red microphone.
Leanne, if you unmute everyone and then we mute ourselves, would that work?
Let's
No,
give
as a host, you can unmute everyone,
I can
and
mute
that would usually unmute everyone, and then we can mute ourselves.
No, I can mute all, but I can let you unmute yourselves.
I know there's a function when I host that I can unmute all.
No, it's basically I can send Heather a message to ask her to unmute.
Oh, that means it has changed. In the past, you can unmute everyone, and then it's just unmuted. Okay, maybe no.
And Heather, when I send you that message to ask you to unmute, does it pop up on your screen? Okay. It's not going to happen then. So let us go. Let us go and have a look and see what needs to be removed for this dragon and see if that changes the landscape. We have stopping this dragon, some galactic interference. So just 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets. It's really interesting because it's in Iran, Iraq, and Cambodia. So
that is what I hear. The dragon is awaiting you at the border. It is something Iraq, Iran. It is.
yeah.
It is a.
So
Yeah.
if we start, we're starting with Iraq, and then going to Cambodia, and then going to Iran. So if we come into circle at Iraq, Universal Federation Light, please, Light Security be on standby. 1, 2, 3 Galactics, 1 Trinity Gateway. Disarm, disable, dismantle all infrastructure and architecture of this Trinity Gateway. They're in Iraq. That's Iraq complete, and coming to Cambodia. Another Trinity Gateway here. Disarm, disable, dismantle. That is complete. And coming to Iran. And this gateway is 4 2x2, so designed to say we're first dual carriageway. And second dual carriageway. Suction to remove all residue from all sites. Infusion of liquid like plasma for reparation, restoration, regeneration, rejuvenation, power and protection reinstated. How does that feel?
It's like 1 level gone. There's like the actual dragon gateways have been dismantled. The dragon says there's no space to move, like the tunneling system.
I think I have a code that's asking to be shared that may help. Hold on. We've been having an argument over here because I was like, I'm not going to do that. And they're going, yes, you are. So here we go. Let's see if I can get it. Because it might be 2. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. This one, and it shows the galactic energy that's coming in to help with this. Sorry, my husband's watching football and I can't reach the remote to turn it down.
That's great, Stephanie, because when Casey mentioned that, you know, that all the tunnels were blocked, I'm like, there's so many of them. What's
Yeah,
gonna restore them?
they're,
And literally, what you've just shared has literally opened the tunnels just like that.
they were like, they were, and this is one I had forgotten about, and they were go look, go, and I'm like, oh, I just want to sit here and listen. Lazy girl.
That feels great. It's so that the planetary body can breathe,
Yes,
not just
and
through like it's us learning to breathe not just through the nose but through the whole body, and it's like the whole planetary body can breathe with this one.
Yeah, they're drawing my attention back to the obsidian to have this coding go into the obsidian itself.
exactly.
Oh, that's
And I
nice.
have a huge obsidian mirror crystal on right next to us, so it's reflecting it in and out. So they were right, and as usual, I was just stubborn. So we'll keep, and I sent it to you already, Leanne. So
Thank you very much.
yes,
Now I know why I got to sleep with 16 big obsidian blocks under my bed when COVID began. That was really interesting. I used to sleep with them in a circle beneath me. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was just what we needed. Anna Katharina? Let's have a look.
That's it. Yeah. Perfect. It was a wonderful sound in the back, Stephanie. It was perfect. It was so perfect. And it brought a little joy into that back. Wonderful. The dragon will bring an ancient line back into life. And that can move now over the border. This dragon will bring an ancient line back into life. And yeah.
I can feel it awakening through my body and through the planetary body simultaneously. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Wow.
May I share one more thing?
Please,
There's some ancient mother, and she keeps showing herself. She's just standing there, and she's on the land of Iran. But I don't know who she is, and she's not sharing her name. But she just wants to be seen, known, perhaps even heard. Whoa. Okay, she just came through me, so.
beautiful. Thank you. Anna Katerina is coming on, and then Claudia.
She says she has a message for all of us, this ancient mother. And I got goosebumps all over when you said that about the ancient mother. It is something that is a very sacred aspect that was missing, and that is important for the healing. And she has a message for all of us.
She's saying that she's one of the light bringers of Gaia, that she's part of Gaia herself, as old as the rivers and the rocks that are there. And she's part of the shift, the consciousness change that can be felt. And she's part of the wave of peace.
In the message lies the answer for the peace. In her message lies the answer for the peace. Yeah.
I thought I saw her in the picture in the middle. There's like a face of a white woman. Of Stephanie's picture.
Just wanted to say it's interesting that in Iran, it's the women that are leading this, and they're removing their hair coverings, their head coverings, and throwing them on the bonfires as well too. So there's that very strong feminine energy that's coming through in Iran too.
Thank you, John. I'm just wondering if, Robin, is there any more sound that you wish to bring through? I feel that will bring a consolidation and integration of today's journey.
Okay, thank you. If we could all take a deep breath. Daki santu be ayu bahasu bahuki kantu kukwa isatia di beside uma ikayet na moe wa het ale humbeki sa ya hantsikiaya o hayet I wa khwe ki wata no suetana la hatu ye bikau kukwa ena wa yata wo ho ne na ayet out ayet uena wa hat e ya na kaisa suku una hayet et ai not ait it ait ut anisat ut et ais at uyana quetana kabut et at ut anakata totai tata au kat anikata au kaut ana at anan at an at ut at uya o at oh yeah su ehesa ona kaisa hena kiawat o ma he kia kawa kaisa tena ayat iat awat esa ona hayata esa ona hatia itai da hui na hayo ya hao.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions today. Thank you, Heather, for your presence, your system within our circle. And we look forward to hearing from you when that time comes. And it does feel as though this journey is still to be continued into our next full moon gathering. So thank you, everyone, for being here now and for everything you do in the spaces in between, for our persons, our people, our humanity, and our planet. And as we return fully intact to the earth plane, I would love to hand you over to Casey for closure.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in circle today. We will take a minute to just give gratitude to the field for this grand adventure that we went on today. Thanking our guides, our supporters, our galactic families for being here, and allowing us to experience the collective field itself. The holding of the field that allows us to connect in the biggest way possible, receiving those codes from source, those light coding information that get bounced off each other's channels when we are in connection together. Allowing for a greater work and a greater purpose to be felt. And understanding that each one of us carries a piece that creates the whole when we are together. That we are walking hand in hand through this journey. And we are reuniting and reconnecting in the heart field on the soul level. And that this is the field of remembrance. This is the field of unity where duality no longer exists. This is what we are anchoring into for ourselves and for the biggest picture of all, for the collective, for Gaia, for the cosmic communities. And that we are also giving the invitation for all those to join both our circles and perhaps their own. But it's the circling up that is important. It's the reconnection. And it's the unity field. And just allowing that importance, reverence, honoring to be felt. that we are part of the advancement of Gaia herself. And we are part of the bigger story of what's happening here, allowing things to actually change energetically and in the physical. With so much gratitude, we will separate into our individual pillars at this time, allowing the source field to connection to gradually, gently release so that we can anchor in fully into our human vessels again. Feeling our feet connected to Gaia, anchored to her, tethered to her, grounded, supported by her always. Allowing some gentle movement to come back into your body by wiggling your toes, your fingers, feeling your connection to your body again, allowing yourself to enter all the way back into your body system. Breathing deeply into yourself and choosing to come back in all the way by opening your eyes.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and your contributions today. It's a gift to have everyone's unique gifts and signatures weaving together around our planet on these new and full moons. So may life unfold at the pace of grace and speed of love until next we may meet. Aroha nui from Aotearoa. Thank you, everyone.